Back together. Oh, my part all crooked. What the heck? My curls everywhere. I know, Cynthia. I woke up and it was 10:08. 10:08. Okay. But yeah, I'll be there next week before we leave. Hey, Mama. Before we leave for Europe, I'll be there Sunday. So, but yeah, I woke up. It was 10:08, so I knew we were gonna be late today. So we didn't even move. I woke up earlier and I laid back down. It probably was like 5:45, and then when I woke back up again, it was after 10. So yes, we missed church today. But happy Sunday, everybody. We are back from Jamaica. Hi, Sonia. We are back from Jamaica. We had an amazing time. The ladies were they were off the chain. Like the yacht party was stupid, even in the rain. So like it pretty much rained every day while we were in Jamaica. And so typically it would rain for about maybe an hour or so, and then it would stop and it would be over with. But the day of the yacht party, listen, we got to Rick's Cafe in the grill, and it probably rained for an hour and a half, but you would not know it. Half of the ladies got off the boat at Rick's Cafe, and they went to Rick's, and a few of the ladies even jumped off the cliff. Like we shared one of the pictures. If you go to our Instagram stories, you'll see that. I think I see Shanteria. Hey, Shanteria. If you go to our Instagram stories, you will see that. No, IGTV. It's on IGTV. You'll see where one of the ladies, we put her story on there where she jumped off. My brother jumped off and he went to the highest one. And one of the other young ladies jumped, and she didn't straighten her body up. Like you're supposed to jump like a certain way. Like you have to be stiff as a board, right? And she kind of did a squat position. And so her bottom hit the water, and she was like in pain the next day. She had to go to get a massage and everything. But she ended up being okay. But she literally, her butt smacked the water. And I think that the initial jump is like 35 feet from the beginning to the end. So 35 feet she hit the water, but everyone said that it was great. I wasn't doing that. But we were still on the boat, on the catamaran, and DJ Red, if you guys do not know DJ Red, if you're on our Facebook, she's on there. Sheila Thurman, DJ Red from Chicagoland. Listen, she had the boat on fire in the rain. Do you hear me? Like it was off the chain. So we had a great time. We will be doing our girls tripping take two next year in Puerto Vallarta. We will open that up to the public on, I want to say June 22nd or something like that. We are giving our ladies who joined us in Jamaica first dibs. So not even our email list for this trip. So our Jamaica ladies get first dibs on Puerto Vallarta. And so they have until June 22nd is what I believe the date is. That's Saturday. So after that, we'll post it on our website. Okay. So again, today, I know that you guys, especially us Facebook people, because Instagram is a little bit different. It's just about kind of photos and things like that. But if you are on Facebook, I am certain that you have been following or have someone posted all of the different safety concerns in the Caribbean lately. Okay. So we wanted to kind of address that and talk about how to be safe when you're traveling, because it's important, right? And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And the first thing I want to say, though, no matter what the story, please, y'all, first of all, if someone posts this and you see it, read it. A lot of times this is clickbait stuff. Not saying that anyone's story is not true or whatever, but what I am saying is don't let these kind of things deter you, because the majority of us here, we live in or around Chicagoland. And so, we see this kind of thing happen, and we know what we have to do to continue to be safe. So just wanted to put that out there too. But here are some steps in being safe when you're traveling, especially internationally. But guess what? We have to do this kind of stuff at home too, with the exception of a few of these tips. But the first thing you need to do when you are traveling international, there is a program called STEP, STEP. We have all of our international travelers register for this. You go online, you can Google STEP, STEP. It's an acronym, so you don't have the dots after each letter. And what that does is registers your trip to the local consulate embassy where you're going. So if you sign up for STEP and you're going to Dubai, it asks you for the information about the hotel you're staying at, that kind of thing. So it registers your trip with the U.S. consulate embassy in Dubai. So they know that you're there if something were to happen, okay? They send out, if something happens there that you need to know about, they will send you an email, or I believe you can sign up for text messaging. But every single one of your international trips, you should be signing up for STEP. Again, that's just like a stair step, STEP. Google that when we get offline, and make sure if you have any international trips coming up that you are registering your trip under the STEP program. The acronym means Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, okay? Smart Traveler Enrollment, STEP, Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Make sure any international trip you are registering there, okay? The next thing is to make sure you are making copies of your passport, okay? You need to have a couple of copies at home and take a couple of copies with you. I am the person who takes her passport with me everywhere when I leave the resort or whatever. It's on my person, but you can leave copies of your passport in the safe at your hotel if you're taking your passport with you. Some people have qualms about having their passport on them, and they'll take the copies with them and leave their actual passport at the resort, but I do the opposite. Either way, you need to have copies with you and leave copies at home, okay? Always have copies of your passport to leave to your family. In addition to having copies of your passport, make sure your family at home has a full itinerary. They know pretty much every step that you're making, and try not to divert from that, so that if something happens, they can unequivocally say, they are going to be at XYZ place today. This is where they told me they're going to be. So make sure that you're leaving your itinerary at home for someone to have. They know what hotel you're staying at. They know the flight. Listen, I can't go nowhere my mom don't know. She'd be like, don't forget to leave me all your flight stuff, your hotel, I need it. Or if I leave it with the kids, she can contact the kids, but every trip and she doesn't know, she's asking, okay? So make sure you're leaving copies of your passport and your itinerary at home for family to have access to, okay? The next thing, I think this is number 4. Number 4 is have an international phone plan, okay? You have to stay connected. When you are outside, most hotels now have Wi-Fi, so you're connected when you're in the hotel. But when you are outside of the hotel, you still need to have some sort of connection. If you don't have the type of plan where you can use your data outside of home, either get an international plan that you can use only when you travel. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, you can buy a SIM card or a phone when you arrive at your destination. Or number 3, there is a new, it's like a data little plan. They call it Skyroam. And so we tried to test it out before in the Middle East, and they didn't have service there. But you rent this little thing. It's like a little circular orange thing. You can find it again online. It's called Skyroam, one word. You can rent it for for the duration of your trip, and you will have access to data. Okay, you can stick it in your pocket. It can connect up to 10 devices, no, 5 devices at one time, and most places it is readily available. When you go to their website, you can look and see the destinations that you're not able to use, but the majority of the places you can use it. We are renting it for our European trip that's coming up in about a week and a couple of days. We're going to London, Paris, and so we're going to rent it for that trip so that we can be able to use it as a group when we're out and about. Okay, so either have a international plan. Now, I will say this: I've had U.S. Cellular. I don't know if you guys Midwest people know what U.S. Cellular is. I've had U.S. Cellular, Sprint, Verizon, and now T-Mobile. Okay, so Sprint was by default because they merged with U.S. Cellular. I hated their international plan; it never worked. I went over to Verizon. The international plan never works. I had it because we travel so much. I made sure that we have it. But I'm with T-Mobile now, and when I tell you I have had the best international experience ever with T-Mobile, they have the best. I have the one, it's like something about a one international plan, and it is the bomb. One question is it expensive to rent? No, it's like $10 per day that you're going to be traveling. They send it to you. You get unlimited Wi-Fi with it, unlimited data, and then they give you a box and everything that you can send it right back to them when it's over. Okay, so it's not expensive to rent at all. It's like about $10 a day. Okay, but yes, like I said, T-Mobile has been the best of the plans that I've used internationally. I've had no issues. I'm able to use my data. I'm able to, if I'm on Wi-Fi, I can still get calls. You can get calls on Wi-Fi with WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, things like that. But definitely make sure that you are always able to be connected to someone, even outside the hotel. Okay, make sure. AT&T is $10 a day. I haven't used AT&T's international plan, but yeah, the others, yeah, no. I'm going to Barcelona. I'll need it. Yes, and they definitely work in Spain, so definitely check them out. It's called again Sky Roam. Okay. The next one, I think this is number 5. Oh, listen, and this I'm not gonna say comes without saying, but when you are traveling, no matter where you are, okay, you have to be aware of your surroundings. I know that we're on vacation and we want to just chill and hang out. Heck, we were at the resort, and we all know in the Caribbean, these freaking cats, like the cats was just, they like flying. I'm like, listen, go away. So you have to be aware. If a cat can walk up on you, no. So be aware of your surroundings. Do not go places by yourself. I know there are plenty of people who love to solo travel. That's not my ministry. I'm not going nowhere by myself. My husband is having anxiety because he's not going with us to Europe next week. Yes, we have one man that is going with us. It's a husband of one of our clients, but he's having anxiety because he normally goes with me, especially international. But I'm from the shop. I'm looking, my head on a swivel at all times. Okay, so you have to know what's going on around you at all times. Looking for exit signs if you're inside of buildings, in case you need to get out. If you see something, say something. That's at home too. If you see bags sitting around and you don't like, hey, what's this going on right here? You all need to maybe check this out. This bag has been sitting here since I got here, but definitely be aware of your surroundings at all times. And again, like I said, I know a lot of people like to travel solo, but that may not always be the best choice. Even if you want to, let's say you want to travel solo, and for lack of a better term, but you can go with a group and still have a room to yourself and be a part of the group when you want to be. But when it's needed, you need to make sure that you're with someone. You should not be walking through a resort. Most of these resorts in the Caribbean and Mexico are huge. And just for instance, the one we stayed at in Cabo, the Barcello, it is a beautiful resort, but pretty much about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, it is quiet, it is dark, and you should not be walking alone. If you're going to go to the 24-hour bar or the 24-hour restaurant or snack bar or something to get something to eat, you should be going with someone or having someone to bring room service to you. Okay, just you have to be cognizant of what you're doing and your movements at all times in your surroundings. Okay. Another thing, when you, especially people who travel solo, but a lot of people have this whole notion of, I want to do what the locals do. Let me tell you my take on that. Okay. This is how I feel about that. All the time, the locals don't want you in their space. They want you to go to the touristy stuff that they set up for you in their area. They don't want you in their personal space. So be aware of that. Don't just go to places because you feel like, I want to do what the locals do. I want to eat what the locals eat. Sometimes, listen, okay, put it like this. Most of us that are here, I'm looking at you guys. I know that most of us are in Chicagoland. Okay. There's some places that the Chicagoland people don't want you in a, you're not gonna just go to any old lounge, tavern, or however you want to call it in the hood because you want to be where the locals be. Because guess what? The locals gonna look at you like you crazy, and they may think you some type of informant or whatever. You don't just pop up in these people's places and thinking because you know you touristy, they don't know. They don't know you, and some places they don't want you invading their space. So think about that before you want to be like, I want to do what the locals do. Nah, sis, you might need to go on to their tourist bar where that's where all the other tourists at and jam with them because some of the locals may come there, but they don't always want you in their space. And think about it that way because they don't know who you are. They don't know if you're the police. They don't know what you're there for. Okay? So listen, y'all. Think, listen, you not nobody is gonna come to Chicago and they like, oh, I want to know, take me to the hood. You know, I want to see the hood part. I want to see the hood part of it. And you want me to take you to Inglewood? Nah, boo. They don't want you over there because I promise you, you got to announce yourself before you get there. They're like, who are you and what you want? With their guns drawn, matter of fact, okay? Come, do your touristy stuff. I don't care what nobody tell you. Somebody, you can't, they ain't the best food. They ain't the best. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Take me where the tourists go. If that ain't the best food, I guess what? I'll never know. It's gonna be the best food for me because I won't never know what the locals. Now, there's a little caveat to that. We've gone places and you may have a local spot right there in the tourist area. You might get away with that, but going in their neighborhoods is a no. Like, we went on a cruise. Our very first cruise, me and my husband went on a married couples cruise with our church. And a couple got off, they rented the little scooter things, right? And so they're driving in what they think is the, you know, the path they're supposed to drive in for the tourists or whatever. They get to a neighborhood. Someone that was sitting outside the area stopped them and said, go back. We don't want y'all over here. You don't belong over here. Go back where the tourists go. Okay? They gave them a warning. Okay? They didn't have to. And then people will say, oh, I was robbed or I was this because you trying to be, you know, all adventurous and you're going to go, no, no, no. Stay where the tourists are welcome. We ain't welcome everywhere. Just like people who come here, not welcome everywhere. You tell your people, stay downtown. You can go to Schaumburg, to the Woodfield Mall. You can go to these little spots. You ain't, if you are a travel professional or you have someone coming to visit you, you not sending them on 63rd and what's Hermitage. You ain't gonna do it. So stay your butt off 63rd and Hermitage in these other people's countries. Okay? I'm trying to see what local keep their economy people are getting hurt. Local keep their economy people. People are getting hurt, but a lot of the stories, and I'm speaking to someone who asked a question on Facebook or made a statement, some people are getting hurt at hotels. But again, we have to be cognizant of our surroundings. We cannot be walking around hotels by ourselves. We shouldn't be. I've read stories about 15 or 16-year-olds going like, why? Because you think you in, you know, the Bahamas or Jamaica or wherever, and you're on vacation, so your mind is on vacation, and you're like, oh, it's cool, you can go. I'm not, listen, I barely will let my 23-year-old daughter walk around by herself when we are not somewhere where I'm familiar with. You're not familiar with that resort. You can't just, let your guard down because you're on vacation. Your 16-year-old daughter and 17-year-old daughter should not be walking around a resort, a city or whatever by themselves. Not taken away from things that happen, because again, things happen internationally and things happen at home. Okay. Um, we talked about the itinerary. Another thing, a lot of people leave and they say, I'm gonna wing it. I'll get a cab when I get there. I'll book my tours when I get there. You need to be using reputable resources, reputable sources when you're talking about tours and transfers. We don't know these people. You should not be just getting out and Johnny come lately walk up to you and say, hey, I got a cab. I know they charging 25. I'll charge you 15. I'm paying 25. Go on now, get. Be aware. Maybe booking in advance. Some people feel like they're gonna pay more or whatever the case may be. I will pay more for safety, because the majority of these vendors, depending on what vendor you book with, they vet their suppliers. Okay. So if you're booking with this particular transportation company, they're using this company because they've used them and they trust them. So you want to save $10, okay? So you're gonna wait to get there and just gonna let anybody take you to your hotel? No. You're gonna save $20 or $30 and book an excursion with someone you meet on the beach because it's cheaper, instead of either booking with the group, because the group has booked something and you're like, oh, that costs too much. I can find somebody on the beach. You don't know if they have insurance. You don't know any of that. And you don't know if they're reputable. You don't know where they're taking you. They like, oh, it's going to take us 2 hours. You don't know where you're going. You're in a whole new country, a different country. You have no idea where you're going. Be very sure that you are booking your transfers and your tours with reputable people, because you don't know what these people have in mind. Some people feel like, oh, Americans are rich. We had a young man tell us in Jamaica just when we were there last. He was trying to sell us marijuana at the we were at the little street vendors outside of the club. We were buying jerk chicken, and he was trying to sell marijuana to us. And we were like, I think Ronnie said something to him, like, oh, we can't just be smoking that. We have to go to work. Like, y'all can just chill on the beach. We can't do that. He was like, oh, you think we just want to chill on the beach? We got to work. He's like, we're a third world country. So they feel like, he was like, you all may have homeless people or poor people, but you are first world poor and we're a third world poor. So there's a total difference. So they feel like we have more than them. So sometimes they don't care. Like, there are people who absolutely prey on Americans or any other tourists that come to visit them, and they're looking to, rob them or do something like that if they feel like they can. But if there's power in numbers. You got to listen. You better bring your A game. If it's me and my crew, bring your A game, because it's gonna be one. Okay, and know that all the time the police there aren't they don't speak the language, they don't speak your language, so they're not going to really understand what's going on. But you don't even want to go there. Be safe. Just know who you're traveling with and what's going on. Jamaica do have the best. I mean, listen, the whole cruise was getting it in while we were there. But guess what? I made sure, although I do not indulge, I made sure that they had reputable people that they can purchase from. I made sure I worked with a reputable company and they offered it to us. I said, there's people who coming with us that indulge. If they want to purchase it, please have it available. He did. They didn't have to go off the resort and worry about if someone was going to snatch them up, or if it was laced with something, we got it from a reputable source. Okay. Are there any questions, guys? I just wanted to get that out there because I know this week has been, there's been so many stories about things going on in different Caribbean and Mexican locations, travel destinations. And I just want you guys to know that, again, it doesn't just happen there. I don't know why they just put it out like, oh my God, it's happening here and this and that and the other, because it's happening at home too. But I want you guys to know the steps that you need to take to make sure that wherever you are, whenever you are traveling, that you are being safe. So I'm going to go over the steps really quickly one more time. The first thing, make sure you are registering all of your trips with the STEP program, STEP, Smart Travelers Enrollment Program. Now, that's number one. Make sure you have copies of your passport that you leave at home and that you take with you. Make sure that you have a copy of your itinerary that you are leaving with your family. Make sure that you are able to stay connected all the time via cell phone. Even if you have data, make sure you're able to be connected. Always, always, always know what's going on in your surroundings. Okay. Travel in groups. Only venture off to where tourists are accepted. And always book with reputable companies. Okay. No problem, Sonia. Definitely. That STEP program is amazing because that registers you wherever you're going. You say you're going to Barcelona. When you register your trip with the STEP program and you tell them what hotel that you're staying at or whatever in Barcelona, that registers you with the consulate, the embassy that is right in that area. So they know that you're there. Okay. Are there any questions? Thank you, Butterfly. I think that's right because I don't have my glasses on. I think it said Butterfly Girl. Are there any questions, ladies? Y'all, we trying to get our life together. We have probably 7 or 8 trips that we have not even posted on our website yet. Listen, but our travel schedule is so crazy. We're working this week to get most of those up and posted on our website, and let you guys know via social media about them as well. But we leave in 10 days for Europe for 8 days, and then I leave for 6 days for Cuba, and then it's a lot, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. No problem, Evelyn. No problem. Are there any questions, guys, before we say good night? What vitamins do you take? Auntie, multivitamin, when I remember to take them. Oh, I get a lot of vitamin D because I like the sun. Could you give any tips on Japan? I've not been to Japan personally, but I would say the same thing as far as, well, wait, let me ask you this. What type of tips are you need? Do you mean safety tips because you can use the ones, or do you mean tips as far as what to do while there? If you mean what to do while there, email me and I can send you something. Oh, cool, Evelyn. Thank you so much. We tried because listen, this travel thing is for real, and people love to travel, but they don't. First, a lot of people don't like to use a travel professional. We're gonna even go there, but a lot of people don't like to use a travel professional. I actually saw something today. Someone posted in a group. I'm in so many travel groups. She posted in a group that she posted pictures of her passport, right? And she was like, I finally got my passport. I'm so excited, even though I had to miss my cruise to Cuba, because who knew that you had to have a passport to go to Cuba? Well, if you would have booked with a travel professional, they would have told you that in the beginning. That's number one. Number two, it's on the website. So when you go to like any of the cruise lines and you're going to book Cuba, then they actually tell you that you have to have a passport booked even on a cruise to Cuba. Okay. So if they would have booked with a travel professional, they would have knew it. You saw that, mama. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, oh, if they would have booked with a travel professional, they would have knew all that stuff already. Um, but yes, can you any other questions, y'all? What advice do you have for a single woman traveling alone? Um, just absolutely be aware of your surroundings. I am not a reading is fundamental. Child, listen. I'm not a huge fan of traveling solo. But my thing is this. Some people just absolutely that's how they like to travel, right? But I was saying earlier, even if you went with a group, you can go in a room by yourself because if you're going solo, you're doing, the room by yourself and kind of be with the group if you wanted to be. It was a cruise, so it's kind of a confined space. But a lady went with us on a cruise, it was in March. And she was with the group but no, it was in April. She was with the group, but she wasn't. She decided which group activities she wanted to be a part of, and she was a part of them. And then if she didn't want to be and she wanted to do her own thing, she had spa treatments. We were on the cruise for 7 days. She had spa treatments every day. So if she wanted to hang out with us, she did. If she didn't, she just didn't bother. And when she did her survey, she made it clear that she loved that we didn't like, oh my God, we want y'all come do this, do this, do this, and we just didn't. It's on the sheet, on the itinerary that you can join us, but it's up to you. That's one thing. The other thing is if you're going to travel solo, before you leave, research and find reputable reputable tour companies where you can use them for your entire trip. So they will be exclusively the people that's going to pick you up from the airport, take you to this excursion, take you to that excursion. If you're going to go out, they're going to take you and, maybe someone stay with you and take you back to the airport just so you can feel comfortable and not have to skipping back and forth with different people that you really don't know. Okay. I do definitely suggest doing that. Do you always need insurance? Whew, let me see. Angie, child, listen, travel insurance, I will get on a tangent. Do you hear me? You should not, first of all, if you travel more than twice a year, you should have an annual policy. That's number one. You should not be purchasing travel insurance every trip. You should have an annual policy. If you are traveling more than twice per year, at least 100 miles from home. If you are traveling more than 100 miles from home, your travel insurance will cover you. Okay, that's the number one thing. Number two, you never know what can happen. And you see, my mother is on Facebook, Angie. She just said yes. You know why? Because travel insurance just came through for her. Okay, so travel insurance, you should not leave home without it. I lost deposit and insurance because roommate had to cancel. Um, you had insurance and your that shouldn't affect you if your roommate canceled. What type of policy did you have? Was it a cruise? Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this too. I love Carnival. That's the only cruise line that I normally book our groups with. But you want to get a for real travel insurance policy. Travel Guard, Allianz, something like that. Do not go with those cruise line insurance policies. Okay, don't do it. Go with a for real insurance company. Again, Travel Guard, Allianz are the two that I would suggest you look into. It's my first solo trip. I got tired of waiting on people. I booked before I found this group. Okay, that's cool. But like I said, make sure, depending on where you're going, make sure that before you go, that you are looking for a company that you can use, that you feel like you can trust, that will take you on your tours and do your transfers. Don't get there and wait and feel like I can save a few dollars doing it this way. Don't do that. Make it because then you can give that information to your family, and be at ease that that you have someone that's going to be there to make sure you're okay. And listen, another thing, Ashley, is this is the reason why we are ladies in luggage, okay? Because we ourselves and my business partner, we just got tired of waiting on people to travel with us. Because if you wait on people to travel with you, you'll never go nowhere. So we are a bunch of women who are tired of waiting on people to travel, and so we're gonna travel, and then we make friends. I promise you. Listen, we had a great time. There were 57 women in Jamaica with us, and we're still in our group chat. Some people are still saying hi, and talking and sharing pictures, and they've built new friendships, and that's what the heck was that? That's what our community is about, building sisterhood through travel. Okay. How do I get travel insurance? I always buy it each time. So if you contact Travel Guard, okay, and ask them about an annual policy, you can get an annual policy through Travel Guard. Yep, I have one. I only get one policy per year, and it covers all of your trips for the entire year. Yep, you don't have to get one every time. And it's much cheaper that way too. Any other questions? Oh, I'm looking at Instagram now. Oh, what to do while there? Okay, Living for Lola, definitely email us. info@ladiesandluggage.com and we'll help you out. Oh, Cynthia said, y'all know I'm blind, so I have to squint in order to see this, or put my glasses on, and then it's going to be a glare. Cynthia said the planned activities were great. Thank you, Cynthia. And then, even for those who went with us and they didn't have anything, they wanted to go shopping and things like that, we were able to contact our person and get them to go do shopping and whatever they needed to do off the resort at their free time. He was available. Auntie, you on my coattail? I know. Auntie is going with us to Cuba in a few weeks, and she said, "Whatever y'all doing, I'm doing. Whatever y'all doing, I'm doing." Yes, Auntie, we know. We got you. We got you. Just bring your comfy shoes because those cobblestone streets are real. Any other questions? Y'all have been asking questions today, and that is absolutely what we love. If you didn't feel comfortable enough to ask your question here, you can always email us at info@ladiesandluggage.com and we'll get back to you. I'm gonna tell y'all now, I'm just gonna be for real. It may be 2 or 3 days before we get back to y'all. Cause listen, we were gone to Jamaica for a whole week, and then my daughter had a baby while we was gone, so I'm catching up on all that stuff. And so sometimes I came, then we got 11 trips coming up, like back to back to back to back to back to back. And so we like wrapping all that stuff up. Like mom is working on getting this, Essence and Cincinnati. Like it's crazy. So sometimes I'll see your email and I'll respond to it in my head. And then like the fourth day, I'm like, oh, I need to email them back for real, like in real life now, because they think I forgot about them. But I didn't. But sometimes, I have to even text messages. People text me and be like, did you get my text? I'm like, it was less than 2 days ago. I read it, but I haven't been able to respond yet. But we'll get back to you. info@ladiesandluggage.com. You can text message us. We have a phone number, 866-712-8728. You can call or text us. It's easier to text because sometimes we just cannot answer the phone. And then sometimes I have my grandson and he don't allow me to answer the phone because he be like buck wild, like screaming and playing drums in the background. So I'm not going to be unprofessional and answer the phone while he like drumming. So text us, 866-712-8728. Okay. And we will get back to you that way. If you have topics you would like to hear us talk about, the same avenue, email us or text us with those topics and we will add them to our rotation. Go to our website. You can chat with us live there. And you can also see what we have coming up. I'm telling you all, our calendar is lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. And so yeah. And we have some surprises coming up for those of you who are looking to be or thought about being in the travel industry. We about to blow this industry up. Do you hear me? Just give us one moment. We are working diligently, hard on it. And so yeah, give us 1 minute, please. And we're gonna have y'all right together. Okay, if there are no more questions, it was great chatting with y'all today. We will see y'all maybe later on during the week, but definitely next Sunday. Later.